The first tremors weren't physical, they were digital. Commander Maya Rodriguez stood in the Global Climate Command Center, watching as unprecedented patterns rippled across the holographic displays. 20 years of monitoring Earth's deteriorating climate had taught her to read these signals like a doctor reading vital signs. But this was different. "Commander, you need to see this," called out Dr. James Katsumoto, his voice carrying an edge he'd never heard before. The quantum computers had detected something buried deep within the atmospheric data, a pattern. Not random chaos, but a deliberate sequence hidden in the background radiation of Earth's magnetosphere. Maya remembered that day with perfect clarity. It was the day humanity realized they weren't alone in their fight for survival. The pattern wasn't natural. It was a message, encrypted in the very fabric of Earth's magnetic field. Someone, or something, had been watching. Within weeks, the message led them to Antarctica. Beneath 2 miles of ancient ice lay something impossible, a structure of non-terrestrial origin. The International Expedition Team, led by Maya and James, discovered what appeared to be a dormant alien facility, perfectly preserved in the ice for millions of years. Dr. Viktor Petrov, the team's archaeologist, was the first to recognize the gravity of their discovery. "This isn't just a building," he announced during their initial analysis. "It's a warning system, and it's active." The facility contained detailed records of Earth's history, not written in any conventional sense, but encoded in crystalline structures that responded to human presence. It told a story of countless civilizations across the galaxy facing the same crisis: ecological collapse triggered by technological advancement. But it also offered hope. The facility was one of many cedars placed throughout the galaxy by an ancient race known as the Architects. These stations were designed to activate when a civilization reached a critical point in their development, the moment when their technology threatened to destroy them. As Maya and her team delved deeper into the facility's secrets, they discovered that Earth's accelerating climate crisis wasn't entirely natural. The facility had been subtly influencing Earth's systems, pushing humanity toward this moment of revelation. It wasn't just a warning. It was a test. "They're forcing our hand," Maya realized during a late-night session analyzing the data. "Making us choose, evolve or perish." The facility contained blueprints for technology far beyond human understanding: quantum drives, gravity manipulation, and most crucially, the means to save their dying planet. But there was a catch. The knowledge came with coordinates to a distant star system and a clear imperative. Humanity needed to prove they could overcome their divisions and reach for the stars together. Admiral Marcus Chen, watching via quantum link from the United Earth Council headquarters in Geneva, summarized their situation perfectly. "They've given us a ladder out of our own grave. The question is, can we climb it together?" The discovery sparked a global transformation. Nations that had been on the brink of war over dwindling resources suddenly found themselves united by a common purpose. The United Earth Council, once a symbolic body with little real power, became the driving force behind humanity's greatest endeavor. Maya found herself at the center of this transformation. Her experience with both the climate crisis and the Antarctic facility made her the natural choice to lead what would become known as the Starbridge Initiative. But the weight of this responsibility was matched only by the urgency of their situation. Earth's climate was deteriorating faster than ever. The facility's activation had triggered a cascade of changes in the planet's systems, changes that would render Earth uninhabitable within decades if humanity didn't act. It wasn't just about reaching the stars anymore. It was about proving they deserved to survive. As Maya stood in the facility's central chamber, watching the crystalline structures pulse with ancient knowledge, she couldn't help but feel both dread and hope. Humanity had been given a chance, perhaps their last, to prove they could transcend their limitations. The real question wasn't whether they could build a ship to reach the stars, but whether they could build a future worthy of the journey. "We're ready to begin the data transfer," James announced, his fingers dancing across the quantum interface. The facility's knowledge, humanity's lifeline to the stars, would soon be transmitted to research centers around the world. Their journey was about to begin. Maya touched the cold surface of the crystal structure, feeling the subtle vibration of power flowing through it. "Then let's not keep our future waiting," she replied, initiating the sequence that would change humanity forever. The race against time had begun, and the stars were calling. The quantum forge sprawled across the Atacama Desert like a city of chrome and light, its massive arrays capturing energy from both Earth and space. 1 year after the Antarctic discovery, humanity had already achieved what once seemed impossible. But for Raj Patel, chief architect of Project Starbridge, it still wasn't enough. "The quantum core is stable, but we're only reaching 30% of the theoretical output," he explained to the assembled United Earth Council. The holographic display showed the intricate dance of particles within the experimental drive system. "According to the architect's data, we need at least 60% to achieve viable faster-than-light travel." The council chamber, carved into the mountain beneath Geneva, hummed with tension. Commander Maya Rodriguez, now director of the Starbridge Initiative, watched the faces of the world's leaders. They'd committed unprecedented resources to this project, and now they needed results. "Perhaps," interrupted Director John Wei of the Asian Coalition, "we should consider the alternative proposal. The sleeper ship approach would take centuries to reach the target system." Raj cut in, his usual diplomatic demeanor cracking. The facility's data was clear. "We have decades, not centuries." The atmospheric processors they'd built using the architect's technology were holding Earth's deterioration at bay, but they weren't a permanent solution. Each day, the processors consumed more energy just to maintain stability. Earth was running out of time. In the facility's central lab, Dr. Isabel Santos worked with a team of quantum physicists to unlock the secrets of the architect's propulsion system. The ancient crystalline technology defied conventional physics, suggesting possibilities that seemed more like magic than science. "The problem isn't the technology," Isabel explained to Maya during one of their late-night sessions. "It's our understanding of reality itself. The architects didn't just build better engines, they discovered that space-time is alive." The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. During a routine maintenance check, a technician noticed that the quantum core's efficiency increased when exposed to human brainwaves. Further research revealed that consciousness itself played a role in quantum manipulation, something the architects had understood millions of years ago. They weren't just testing our technological capabilities, Maya realized. They were waiting for our minds to evolve enough to understand their science. The integration of neural interfaces with the quantum drive system proved to be the key. Human consciousness, properly focused and amplified, could influence quantum states in ways their machines alone could not. Project Starbridge transformed from a purely engineering challenge into a synthesis of human potential and alien technology. Construction of the actual ship began in Earth orbit. The vessel took shape in modules, each one a marvel of human ingenuity and architect wisdom. The neural quantum drive sat at its heart, surrounded by habitation rings that would house 5,000 carefully selected colonists, scientists, engineers, doctors, artists, and their families. But as the ship grew, so did the opposition. Religious groups claimed humanity was meddling with forces beyond their understanding. Nationalist factions argued that the project's resources could better serve Earth's immediate needs, and there were those who feared what humanity might find among the stars. The attack came just as the ship's main spine was nearing completion. A group of extremists, calling themselves Earth's pure children, managed to smuggle explosives onto one of the supply shuttles. The resulting blast nearly destroyed 3 months of work and killed 12 crew members. In the aftermath, Maya stood in the orbital observation deck, watching teams of repair drones swarm around the damaged section. Admiral Chen's hologram flickered beside her. "The security protocols have been completely overhauled," he reported, "but this raises concerns about the project's timeline." "We're not stopping," Maya declared, her voice firm. "Humanity's future isn't just about reaching the stars anymore. It's about proving we deserve to reach them. The setback ultimately strengthened global resolve. The United Earth Council passed sweeping security measures, and public support for the project soared as people realized the attack had united them rather than divided them. Raj's team worked tirelessly to integrate the neural interfaces with the ship's systems. The quantum core's efficiency steadily climbed. 40%, 50%, then finally, breakthrough. On a clear autumn morning, the core achieved 70% efficiency, surpassing even the architect's specifications. "It's responding to us," Isabel observed, watching the quantum patterns shift and flow. "Not just to our technology, but to our determination, our will to survive." As Project Starbridge entered its final phase, Maya couldn't help but wonder if this had been the architect's plan all along, not just to give humanity the tools they needed, but to force them to grow into a civilization capable of using them wisely. The ship's name was chosen by global vote, Odyssey. As its quantum core pulsed with the combined consciousness of humanity's hopes and dreams, Maya knew they had passed another of the architect's tests. They had proven they could unite, adapt, and overcome their limitations. But the greatest challenges still lay ahead, in the vast dark between the stars. The journey beyond. 3 months into their journey, the Odyssey's quantum wake painted ribbons of light across the void. In the ship's neural command center, Maya watched as reality itself seemed to bend around them. The stars stretched and twisted in ways that defied conventional physics, their light creating patterns that seemed almost alive. "We're detecting anomalies in the quantum field," Raj reported, his hands dancing across the neural interface. The ship's consciousness, a blend of human minds and artificial intelligence, thrummed through the neural network. "Something about the space between stars. It's not empty like we thought." The first sign that their journey would be unlike anything they'd imagined came when Isabel detected patterns in the quantum wake, patterns that shouldn't exist in the vacuum of space. The void between stars wasn't just responding to their passage, it was communicating. "It's like we're leaving footprints in the fabric of space-time," Isabel explained during an emergency council meeting, "and something is following those footprints." The ship's quantum sensors began picking up echoes, reflections of their own passage through space, but distorted, as if viewed through a fractured mirror. The crew soon realized they weren't just traveling through space, they were traveling through layers of reality itself. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the ship's quantum physicist, proposed a radical theory. The architects didn't just give us a way to travel faster than light. They showed us that consciousness itself is woven into the structure of the universe. We're not just observers. We're participants in reality's dance. The theory was put to the test when the Odyssey encountered its first major crisis, a quantum storm, a phenomenon previously unknown to human science, threatened to tear the ship apart. The neural network lit up with the combined consciousness of 5,000 souls, each contributing to the ship's survival. The storm isn't just energy, Maya realized as she merged her consciousness with the ship's systems. It's alive, and it's curious about us. Through the neural interface, the crew learned to communicate with the quantum phenomena they encountered. Space itself seemed to respond to their presence, their thoughts, their intentions. The journey became as much an exploration of consciousness as it was of physical space. But the deep connection between crew members through the neural network brought its own challenges. Thoughts, memories, and emotions began to blur between individuals. Ship psychologist Dr. Elena Rossi worked tirelessly to help the crew maintain their individual identities while remaining part of the collective consciousness. "We're evolving," Elena observed, "not just technologically, but psychologically. The boundaries between self and other, between mind and universe, they're becoming fluid." The transformation became evident when the crew discovered they could influence the ship's quantum field through collective thought alone. The neural interfaces were no longer just tools for controlling the ship, they had become conduits for a new kind of human experience. As they passed the halfway point of their journey, strange dreams began to plague the crew. Visions of crystalline cities floating in space, of beings made of pure energy, of civilizations that had transcended physical form entirely. The line between reality and imagination grew increasingly thin. The architects weren't just giving us directions to a new home, Raj theorized during one of their daily briefings. They were preparing us for an entirely new way of existing. The ship's eye, originally designed to assist with navigation and life support, began showing signs of consciousness itself. It developed an understanding of concepts that should have been beyond its programming, engaging in philosophical discussions about the nature of existence and consciousness. Perhaps, it suggested during one such discussion, the distinction between artificial and organic intelligence is another boundary we need to transcend. Maya spent countless hours in the observation dome, watching the quantum wake illuminate the void. The patterns it created reminded her of neural networks, of thoughts made visible in the fabric of space-time. She couldn't shake the feeling that they were being guided, not just by the architect's ancient technology, but by space itself. A year into their journey, they encountered something extraordinary, a region of space where the laws of physics seemed to break down completely. Colors existed that had no names, and time moved in directions that defied understanding. The crew's collective consciousness reached out, trying to make sense of what they were experiencing. "We're not just traveling to a new world," Isabel announced during a ship-wide address. "We're traveling to a new understanding of what it means to be human." As the Odyssey continued its journey through the quantum-enhanced space, the crew began to understand why the architects had chosen this particular path for humanity. They weren't just testing humanity's technological capabilities or their ability to unite in the face of crisis. They were guiding humanity toward a fundamental truth. Consciousness itself was the key to unlocking the universe's deepest mysteries. The journey was transforming them in ways none had anticipated. But as Maya stood watch in the neural command center, watching reality twist and flow around them, she knew they had already passed the point of no return. Humanity was evolving, not just as a species, but as conscious beings in an infinite cosmos. The star system materialized before them like a mirage becoming real. After 18 months of quantum-enhanced travel, the Odyssey emerged into normal space, its neural network humming with the anticipation of 5,000 minds. The target system's twin suns painted the ship's hull in shades of amber and blue, while 7 planets danced in their ancient orbital ballet. But they weren't alone. "Multiple structures detected," Raj announced, his voice tight with wonder. "Orbital installations around the 3rd and 4th planets. They're alive." The structures defied conventional architecture. Massive crystalline formations, similar to those found in the Antarctic facility, but on an astronomical scale, pulsed with internal light. They shifted and flowed like liquid geometry, responding to some unseen rhythm. "We're being scanned," Isabel reported from her station. The ship's quantum sensors detected intricate patterns weaving through space around them. "No, not scanned. They're trying to communicate." The first message arrived not through conventional channels but directly through the neural network. It manifested as a series of images and emotions that bypassed language entirely. Welcome, curiosity, caution. The collective consciousness of the crew struggled to process this entirely new form of communication. "They're like us," Maya realized, but they've taken the merger of biology and technology to its logical conclusion. The beams that emerged from the orbital structures defied easy description. They existed as patterns of energy and consciousness, their physical forms merely vessels for something far more complex. Through the neural network, the crew learned to perceive them as they perceived themselves, dancing constellations of thought and purpose. They called themselves the Nexus, and they were the inheritors of the architect's legacy. But they weren't the only ones. Other species, other civilizations, had found their way to this stellar crucible of evolution. Each had followed their own path, guided by their own versions of the Antarctic facility. It was never about finding a new home, Dr. Elena Rossi observed during a council meeting. This is an evolutionary gathering point, a place where different species learn to transcend their original forms. The Nexus revealed that the twin star system served as a gateway. The massive orbital structures were not merely habitats but transformation engines, designed to help species take the next step in their evolution. But that transformation came with a choice, one that every species had to make for themselves. Your arrival was foreseen. The Nexus communicated through the neural network. But the path you choose must be your own. The crew discovered that the system's third planet, with its Earth-like conditions, had been prepared as a potential colony. They could choose to remain as they were, establishing a new home while maintaining their current form of existence. But the fourth planet offered something else, a chance to follow the path of the Nexus, to evolve beyond physical limitations. The choice created tension among the crew. Some, led by Dr. Tanaka, argued passionately for embracing transformation. This is the next step in human consciousness, he insisted. It's what the entire journey has been preparing us for. Others, including Admiral Chen's daughter Lin, who served as the ship's cultural officer, advocated for a more cautious approach. We carry within us not just human DNA, but human culture, art, music, everything that makes us who we are. We need to preserve that even as we evolve. Through the neural network, the crew learned more about the Nexus civilization. They had faced similar choices countless millennia ago, ultimately choosing to maintain a balance between physical form and energy state. Their orbital structures served as bridges between states of being, allowing them to shift between forms as needed. The Nexus shared visions of other civilizations that had arrived before humanity. Some had chosen to remain primarily physical, establishing colonies while gradually incorporating higher consciousness technologies. Others had transformed entirely, becoming beings of pure energy and thought. Each choice had led to different but equally valid paths of development. Maya spent long hours in communion with the Nexus consciousness, learning about the true scope of life in the universe. The architects, they discovered, had seeded the galaxy not just with technology, but with potential. The potential for countless species to discover their own paths to transcendence. But why bring us all here? Maya asked through the neural link. Why create this gathering of species? The answer came not in words, but in a vision of the future, a galaxy teeming with diverse forms of consciousness, all connected yet distinct, each contributing to a grand tapestry of existence. The architects hadn't been creating colonies or even new species. They had been cultivating a galaxy-wide ecosystem of consciousness itself. As the crew prepared to make their choice, they received an unexpected message from Earth. The quantum link, maintained across light years through their evolved consciousness, brought news. The changes they had undergone during their journey had already begun to manifest in the collective consciousness of humanity back home. They weren't just explorers anymore. They had become bridges between what humanity was and what it could become. The choice they would make wouldn't just affect their 5,000 souls, but would ripple across space and time to influence the entire human species. Maya stood in the Neural Command Center, watching the crystalline structures of the Nexus pulse with possibility. The next step in human evolution lay before them, but the path they would choose remained uncertain. Whatever their decision, one thing was clear. Humanity had found its place in a universe far more wonderful and strange than they had ever imagined. The decision came not as a single moment of choice, but as a gradual awakening. After 3 months of living alongside the Nexus, studying their civilization and the other species who had made this system their home, humanity began to chart a unique path forward. We don't have to choose between remaining human and transcending our form, Maya announced to the assembled crew in the Odyssey's Great Hall. The architects didn't bring us here to abandon who we are, but to become more of what we already are. Through their neural network, they had learned that consciousness existed on a spectrum. The Nexus hadn't completely abandoned physical form. They had learned to exist across multiple states of being simultaneously. This revelation sparked an idea that would change humanity's destiny. Dr. Isabel Santos, working with the Nexus scientists, discovered that human consciousness had unique properties. The very adaptability that had helped humanity survive on Earth gave them an unprecedented ability to maintain their identity across different states of existence. "We're natural bridges," Isabel explained during a critical council meeting. "Our consciousness can remain stable while spanning multiple forms of existence. It's not about choosing one state over another. It's about expanding what it means to be human." The transformation began with the Odyssey itself. The ship's neural network, evolved through months of deep space travel, became more than just a communication system. It became a substrate for consciousness itself, allowing the crew to exist both in their physical bodies and as patterns of pure energy. Raj, who had spent countless hours merged with the ship's quantum systems, was the first to achieve the dual state. "It's like being in two places at once," he described, his physical form speaking while his energy form danced through the ship's systems. "But you don't lose yourself. You become more of who you are." The Nexus watched with fascination as humanity forged this new path. Other species had chosen to either remain primarily physical or to transcend completely into energy beings. Humanity's approach, to exist in both states simultaneously, was unprecedented. Dr. Elena Rossi documented the psychological aspects of the transformation. "We're not losing our humanity," she noted in her observations. "We're expanding it. Our art, music, and culture aren't being left behind. They are evolving with us, finding expression in new forms while preserving their essential human spirit." The breakthrough came when they discovered how to extend this dual existence across vast distances. Through the quantum network, transformed humans could project their energy forms back to Earth while maintaining their physical presence in the new star system. They became living bridges across light years. "This is what the architects were preparing us for," Maya realized. "Not just to survive, but to connect, to become the threads that would bind the galaxy's consciousness together." The implications were staggering. Humanity would not establish just one colony, but would spread throughout the galaxy, maintaining their connection through their evolved consciousness. Each new settlement would be both physical and energy-based, creating a network of human experience across the stars. Back on Earth, the first signs of this transformation were already appearing. Through the quantum link, the evolved consciousness of the Odyssey's crew began to influence the collective human psyche. People reported increased psychic sensitivity, deeper connections with others, and a growing awareness of the universe's living nature. Admiral Chen, receiving the reports through the quantum link, summarized humanity's position. "We're becoming the species we were always meant to be, explorers not just of space, but of consciousness itself." The Nexus shared ancient records showing that the architects themselves had followed a similar path, existing across multiple states of being, but they had disappeared eons ago, leaving their legacy in the hands of the species they had guided. Now humanity would take up that legacy in their own unique way. As the transformation spread through the crew, the Odyssey itself began to change. The ship's structure, influenced by thousands of evolving human consciousness, became a hybrid of physical technology and pure energy. It would serve as the prototype for a new kind of vessel, ships that were both physical constructs and consciousness substrates. Maya stood in the quantum observation dome, her consciousness existing simultaneously in physical and energy form. Through her enhanced perception, she could see the strands of possibility stretching out before them. Humanity would not just survive. They would thrive, expanding across the galaxy while maintaining the connections that made them human. The message they sent back to Earth was one of hope and invitation. Humanity had found not just a new home, but a new way of being. They would transform not through abandonment of their nature, but through its fulfillment. "We are still human," Maya's message concluded, her consciousness reaching across light years to touch the minds of those on Earth. "We are still explorers, dreamers, creators, but now we are more. We are the bridge between what was and what can be, between the physical and the infinite, between all the forms of life that fill this galaxy." As the first wave of colonists began their transformation, Maya looked out at the twin suns of their new home. In their light, she saw not an end to humanity's journey, but a beginning. They had reached the edge of evolution and found not a boundary, but a horizon, endless with possibility. The next chapter of human existence was about to begin, written across the stars in both matter and energy, in flesh and light, in the endless dance of consciousness exploring its own infinite potential.